You're not going to believe it. We're hacking our way back on TV. Stay tuned. Dr. John Stamey's coming up next. Don't get hacked. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at Myrtle Beach Lighting. We're focused on computer security. And we're visiting with Dr. John Stamey, an assistant professor of computer science at Coastal Carolina University. Good morning, Dr. Stamey.
Good morning, Greg. How are you doing? You got me out early today.
It is kind of strange to see you up at 7 a.m. here at Myrtle Beach Lighting. We got these folks up early to get in here.
That's right. It's all good.
It is. And what about the setting? This place is amazing.
It's beautiful.
It is incredible. It goes on and on and on. It seems like I was thinking I popped into the bathroom real quick before we started, and the lighting there is fantastic. It's fantastic all over the place.
Found a clock that I want to buy at the door. So
did you really?
Maybe they'll take my money by the time we're done.
Oh,
right?
That's right. Here at 7:30. That's good. Great to see you again. And, of course, do you mind if we call you John?
Please do.
I'm sure a lot of viewers
I want everyone to call me John.
Know you as Professor Stamey or Dr. Stamey. Until recently it was Mr. Stamey. I understand you got a doctorate recently.
Yeah, that's right. I finished my doctorate at North Carolina State August the 10th. I commuted back and forth for 3 years. You talk about a long drive through Chadbourn.
Oh, yeah.
At night coming back.
Up through Robertson County. Obviously, a lot of our viewers are up there. Chadbourn.
That's exactly right.
Watching Fox 43. Maybe some of the folks you stopped at the gas station or otherwise will see you and recognize that guy.
Probably not. There weren't any people at the gas station.
Oh, really?
I was the only one getting gas that night. So
that's hilarious. That must have been exciting pursuing a doctorate. It's a pretty big deal.
It's a huge deal, and it took a lot of time, and I was able to concentrate on some things that really interest me. One is computer security, and they got a number of people at North Carolina State that do a lot of research in that. I've been doing research myself, for a number of years. I kind of got my doctorate late in the business, but I've always been interested in security ever since about 5.5 years ago. I had my first little internet venture. I had one server, and then all of a sudden we were down. We had millions and millions of people trying to send us messages. It was called a denial of service attack. I was down for a week. I didn't know what to do, and so this is one of those things you learn the hard way. Experience is really the best teacher in computer security.
Now, why would someone do that to you? Why would millions of people be doing email attacks at your server?
It's amazing how that particular thing works. There are a group of people in the world that just don't have enough things to do. And they will sit around. In fact, they come in 3 categories. I'll tell you about the 3 categories of people. Then I'll tell you about that particular attack, and it's kind of amazing. First of all, there's something called script kiddies. That's a new term for you.
That is. Viewers, make sure you pick that up. Script kiddies.
Script kiddies. Those are people that don't really have a lot of experience, but they can go out on the web and they can find programs and routines and instructions, step-by-step instructions on just how to hack into someone's computer. They read it, they try it, they learn. They do it because it's exciting, maybe because it's a little dishonest, or for whatever reason they do it. And they can cause some damage. They're really more of a nuisance than anything else. However, if they get a little bit better at it and learn a little bit about programming, they become real hackers. Hackers can do some serious damage. They sit around, they will poll internet service providers, they will find people that come online, they will scan the back of your computer to see if they can get in. They'll try to get in, they'll try to see what they can do. I'll never forget when I popped a brand new computer on a network, and I won't say whose network it was. I popped one on. It wasn't 3 minutes later somebody had found me and was trying to get in one of the ports. Of course, I had it secured. But someone was trying to get in after 3 minutes. People just sit around and do this. They don't have enough to do. They need to be reading the Myrtle Beach Herald, or they need to be taking great courses at Coastal Carolina University.
Yeah.
So anyway, those are what we just call regular hackers. They can do some damage. They can do a lot of damage to people's individual computers. Then when you have advanced hackers, they're really at the criminal level. First of all, you don't know who they are. They can cover their tracks so well. They can even implicate you if they wish.
No.
And you weren't even there. You were out helping Tom O'Dare cover a story or something,
Which I do often.
That's exactly right. But they can implicate you. They can fake an attack coming from your computer at your house. No one will ever know where it came from. And they can do serious damage. They do a lot of corporate espionage. They break into companies' machines. You know, they've broken into the government's computer, Social Security Administration, a number of corporations. And I'll tell you one thing, corporations will not report how much they lose from hacking attacks and viruses and Trojans. They can't. It would just stagger your mind.
They don't want folks to know.
Well, it's not something that you really want to know, and it doesn't say that your security is bad. It's just that every day a new security hole is found out. Now, here's an interesting thing. Have you ever heard of something called a zero-day exploit?
Zero-day exploit. No.
This is an interesting thing. There will be, say, a known program, an e-commerce system out there that a lot of people use. And all of a sudden, someone will come up with a news story that says, oh, you'd better be careful about this program because there's a potential hack that's available. Mm-hmm. And if a hacker can somehow exploit that within 24 hours, mm-hmm. that's called a zero-day exploit. And it makes them quite famous in that underground world of hacking. That's what they go for. So those are the advanced hackers.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think this is all illegal stuff, though, right?
It is morally and ethically, it's wrong.
Aren't there some serious levels of illegality, though, going on, like the corporate?
There are, but you know, you've got one problem here. All the spyware that comes on your computers. In fact, it doesn't matter any website you go to, you can get spyware on your computer. And companies use that to track things. Mm-hmm. They use that to track how many people go to Yahoo, how many people go to Google, how many people do this or that. If you're unlucky enough to have some adware that besieges your computer with pop-ups,
right?
They will look at the websites that you go to. They will figure out what you like, and you will get pop-ups.
Ugh, jeez.
In that flavor. They want to tailor it. You know, if I'm going to a conference I'm going to a conference in Missouri.
Right.
And I'm going to be looking online for airfares to Missouri for a day or two. Well, if I had a serious problem with pop-ups, I would start getting airfare offers to Missouri and Chicago and areas like that. They're going to really target you. And a lot of people, believe it or not, they'll just go ahead and click on those, and it's basically a validation of, sure, it's okay for you to be doing this. It's not fair. There is more and more legislation that's going to be added to help protect us. But right now, it's hard to protect people. Mm-hmm. First of all, you get a virus, you get pop-ups, you get Trojans. Most people don't even know what to do.
No, sure.
Sometimes they just have to like cry and you know, they go out somewhere and pay somebody a good bit of money, $100 to $200, to clean their computer out. That may be all that they know how to do.
Sure.
The best thing to do is be careful where you go on the web. Make sure you know exactly what the sites are that you visit. I visit the same old sites all the time, and they're all pretty safe. I visit a lot of academic sites. I visit a lot of news sites, computer news sites. Wall Street Journal is believe it or not, Wall Street Journal is a great source for computer security.
Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Why?
They just have a lot of articles. They're smart people.
And what about some of our viewers who may not spend a lot of time on the net, but are still concerned about it because of the impact, how it impacts others around them, their family members, business they associate with? What are some things that folks could do, or some places they could learn about computer security issues, just to have a better idea when they're talking to their friends or relatives or loved ones?
Interesting that you asked me that question. You just gave me a lead into this week's Internet column.
In the Myrtle Beach Herald.
In the Myrtle Beach Herald,
I love
that's
that
right.
paper, yeah.
Oh, I love that paper, too. And in fact, at the end of this month, we'll complete 2 years of Internet columns.
Is that right? At the end of January? That's right.
At the end of January. It started the 1st of February in 2005.
That's exactly right. You know, and it's fascinating when you think about Internet columns, and of course they're so rare, so few and far between. To know that a community newspaper in Myrtle Beach has got something like that's a great testament to the Internet.
And I try to make it so that people in the community can really learn something. You ask me what should you do. The first thing you should do is have good antivirus software and make sure it's updated. I'm sorry, it's going to cost you $20, $30, $40, or $50 or $60 a year, but it's absolutely worth it. You can't live without it. Norton or Symantec or McAfee.
So when those things pop up and say, you need to do this, you've got 28 days, you need to do it.
You need to do it. And the other one that is available for home, personal use only, that's free, is called Avast. And Avast is really good. I use that. I've got a couple of laptops that I use it on, and I really don't have any problems. I'm, working at Coastal, I have the advantage of the corporate protection,
Right.
that they have from some of the antivirus software. But for just a box that someone will give me to look at or work or use in my research, I'll pop Avast on there, and it works really well.
And it's free.
It's free, as long as it's for personal use. If it's not for personal use, don't cheat. Pay $50, pay $45, whatever it is, and buy the right protection. That's the right thing to do. The next thing that you should be sure to do is enable your firewall. Windows XP has a firewall. A firewall, in construction, a firewall is the separator between two areas that will give you some burn time. If there's a fire in one, it will take a certain amount of time to burn through and get to the next area. And so that metaphor has been used in the computer science world to talk about firewalls and the protection from the outside of the internet getting into your personal computer. So make sure that your firewall is enabled. And it's very simple. If you don't know how to do it, just go to My Computer and go on Help and say, how do I enable my firewall? Or just type that into your favorite search engine, Google or Yahoo, and immediately you'll see the link. And Microsoft is very good about giving you instructions on how to enable your firewall. So those are the two things that you've got to do. Another thing that's just about as important is email. Be very careful about the emails you open. If you are not sure who an email is from, just ignore it, because there's no reason in endangering your computer. I always make sure in my subject lines I make it very clear what it's about, so that it won't get stuck in a spam folder, so that people know exactly what it's about. And you'll find a lot of spam filters that are in emails. If they see a number of verbs and nouns and adverbs and adjectives that seem to make a lot of sense, they will let that through. So you got a better chance of getting through. But always be careful. And in terms of downloads, don't ever download anything that has .exe. That means executable. That means I'm free to run on your computer and I'll do whatever I want. That's really what it means.
That's terrible. That's a great practical thing for folks to think of. Never to allow.
Never download anything that has a .exe that stands for executable extension on it. That is a total invitation to disaster unless you specifically know or are expecting it. If I sent you one and I said, Greg, download this. This is a new utility I wrote. You'd know it's safe.
I tell you, who knows?
But if it's somebody else you don't know, you don't want to do that. And by the way, I hate to change the subject, but this security is so important. A group of us, Jean-Louis Lassay being one of them, he's the chair of the.
Who's that?
He's the computer science department chair at Coastal Carolina University.
Great.
He's been my boss for 5 years.
Jean-Louis Lassay.
Jean-Louis Lassay. He's originally from Paris, France. Got his doctorate at Purdue, and he was an IBM research director up in Yorktown Heights, along with his wife, actually. He and I and a group of people are putting together Computer Security Conference 2007 here in Myrtle Beach.
Is that right, in the Myrtle Beach area?
That is exactly right. It's going to take place at the Holiday Inn West next April 11th through the 13th. That's a Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 2007.
3 months from now, right? Three months from now.
Just a little over 3 months, and we're looking forward to having it. First of all, if people want more information, we've got a website. We got very lucky with our domain name, ComputerSecurityConference.com.
Is that right? ComputerSecurityConference.com. What
That's
a great
right.
name. How was that available?
It just was. It's just
It was,
one of those mysteries.
Yeah.
So we got that, and we've got a really great program. Can I tell you a little bit about it?
Yeah, please share with us. This is perfect. We got about 10 minutes.
Okay, great. We were fortunate due to our contacts with IBM, Microsoft, and a company called Lurk. Now, Lurk is a local company that has grown, and it had now bought and assumed the name SecureWorks.
Right.
And so
In
we
Atlanta.
have 3 of the leaders in computer security bringing invited speakers to our conference.
And one was based in Myrtle Beach, SecureWorks.
That's exactly right. SecureWorks is based in Myrtle Beach. Joe Stewart will be here. And then this morning I got confirmation that IBM will be sending one of their top experts. He's going to talk about something that everybody will want to know about, building security from the ground floor up. His talk is not directed at academics or experts. His talk is directed at people like you and me. No, just people people that need to know, and local business people. What do you do to secure your computers? You know, you've got valuable information on them. You've got information that your competitors want.
Right.
They'll take it. They'd love to take it. And, you know, I hate to say it, but people are like that. So this will be a great talk for people. Plus,
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing a workshop on something called ethical hacking.
Ethical hacking.
That's right.
What
Now
could
that's
that
a whole
be?
new a whole new term. Something
We may
that,
not have enough time to get into that.
No, I can tell you about it in 1 minute.
Yeah, please.
Hacking is when you attack someone's computer. Ethical hacking is when you try to attack your own computer and figure out the vulnerabilities.
Huh.
So I'm going to give a 3-hour workshop on how you can test your own network if you have a business. Very simple steps. I'm going to give you something you can take away and you can sit down and use. Plus, I'll also have it online on the internet that conference attendees can download in case they want that, so they can have it conveniently on the web. But between the talk that I'm going to give, a number of the papers that are going to be presented, and the talk from the IBM computer security expert, there's going to be a wealth of information for people in the Myrtle Beach area, for business people to come and learn and help protect their data. They can develop a plan to keep their information safe.
That's tremendous. You said the dates were April 11th through the 13th.
That's right.
Holiday Inn West.
Wednesday through Friday.
Wednesday through Friday. And, of course, for locals who want to travel in either from the PD or southeastern North Carolina, or obviously folks even here, it's open to the public?
It's open to the public. There is, if you're from an academic institution or from a business and you're presenting paper, the fee is $250. But all students and all local people from the Myrtle Beach, Florence, and Lumberton area who are listening in today, if you'll put in a promotional code that says Myrtle Beach,
Right.
Florence, or Lumberton,
Okay.
then you will get the $125 rate, and it's going to go on for 3 days. And I know the gentleman from IBM is going to talk for 2 hours. I'm doing a 3-hour workshop. There are going to be some other workshops that business people will really enjoy. Also, I think the Myrtle Beach Herald said they were going to help out with a little promotion. So
We are.
You can check that out in the Herald.
Absolutely. A little closer to the event, of course.
Right,
But one
sometime in
exciting
March.
thing, if someone just visited computersecurityconference.com
That's right.
and went to the page Conference Registration, there's the information where you'd have the promotional code. You type in either Myrtle,
You type in the
Florence, or
city you're from,
Lumberton,
and if it's
or
one
anywhere
of,
close to it. Sure,
Right,
if
if
you're
it's
from
one of
Marion
the-
or Darlington, right.
one of the cities in the viewing area, then you get the special $125 rate.
It's $125. Now,
That's
what
right.
would that provide if I was to pay $125? Obviously, access to ethical hacking and some of the other great speakers that'll be there.
We're going to have an opening reception on Wednesday night
Great.
where you can meet a lot of the speakers. On
Great.
Thursday, we'll have the first speech will be by the computer security expert from Microsoft. Then we will have other experts. We'll have someone talking about game security from a university in Germany. We have a friend of ours, Professor Yuzuru Tanaka from Hokkaido University in Japan.
He's flying over from Japan.
He's flying over
Wow.
from Japan to give a talk on security. We've got a gentleman from New Mexico Tech whose name is a little difficult to pronounce, but he'll be coming over here to give a talk. And then on Friday morning, I'll be leading off the 3-hour workshop on ethical hacking. And in fact, if everyone will read the internet column, I'm going to write a column about that in about 2 weeks, so everyone can read about it and see just how important it is and the benefits of learning ethical hacking, learning how to attack your own system and find out some of the vulnerabilities.
One other great thing for viewers, of course, who are not subscribers to the Herald, they can go online to myrtlebeachherald.com and click on Internet Column, or they could just go to theinternetcolumn.com to see the history. I think there's a heck of a lot of your columns online.
There really are. I think all 2 years are online, but the last, I think, 20 are easily accessible.
Right there, you just click them right on. But if you go ahead and type in subjects or your name and dates back to February 2005, they can pretty well pull up virtually any column you've done over the last 2 years.
That's exactly right, and I think many of them are still as timely today as they were when they were written.
We've just got a couple of minutes, John. What about one of your favorite topics to write about? Have you seen over the last 2 years, what's been a column that really stands out in your mind as one that either a lot of students talk to you about? I know you teach at the business school out at Coastal as well, at the Wall School of Business. I think you've been out. You've got a lot of students out there, I understand, anecdotally, that have talked about your columns. Any favorites in the past? Any that stick out in your mind?
My two favorite columns are the first one that I wrote called Caveat Emptor, Buyer Beware.
Oh, yeah.
Right. You can go out on the internet and you can find 8 places that will tell you that the world is going to end in 2012.
Ooh.
But probably we just need to continue on and let that pass. You've just got to be careful. Don't believe everything you read. The internet is so important because it requires judgment, good judgment, and there's no substitute.
Right.
So my first column is really my favorite, and it set the tone for everything that I've tried to do. My other one was the Christmas column that I wrote, The Real Cost of Christmas.
Right, that was recently. That got a lot of traffic.
A lot of people like that. PNC Corporation, the old Pittsburgh National Bank, every year for 22 years they've talked about the real cost of Christmas. And I have to tell you something since you asked me. I've got a little addendum to that. Last week we passed by the 8th day of Christmas. And they said that the 8th day of Christmas cost $41.20. What that was 8 maids milking for 1 hour at minimum wage. Now the problem was they didn't talk about the cost of renting the cows, the cost of renting the barn. They didn't talk about workman's comp. They didn't talk about any of that. So next Christmas I'm going to try to one-up PNC Corporation's The Real Cost of Christmas and give them the real cost of Christmas, all the infrastructure, and I'll add some things like computer security, all the things that the internet column might do. Might even take 2 weeks to do it, but I think it'll be a lot of fun.
That's a great idea, a 2-part series on the real cost of Christmas.
The absolute and real cost of Christmas.
So folks probably need, maybe we can make that paper exclusive, so folks actually have to subscribe to the Herald to read that.
Well, that's your call, Greg.
Oh, yeah, that's great. That's great. It's so fascinating when you think about a subject so important that people would actually wrap around and put a conference on. People would fly in from Tokyo, from Germany, from all over the world to be here to help folks understand some of the real issues and threats, whether it's ethical hacking like you've talked about or the threats that folks face every day because they're bombarded with .exe emails or other things that they're faced with. This is a real issue that a lot of people need to be thinking about. The conference could be a great place to hone up on skills.
Greg, don't think that people don't want your data, pardon me for the double negative, because they do. They'll take it if they get the chance.
Well, this is a real opportunity for folks to check out computersecurityconference.com or to even be there if they don't have internet access. A real opportunity to get out on April 11th through the 13th, Wednesday through Friday. Perfect days of the week to be there.
Just think, it's like eating your vegetables. Computer security, it's something you've got to do.
I love it. John, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Greg, thank you very much for letting me start back. Carolina People, it's a real honor.
It's a great treat. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Dr. John Stamey coming up next. We didn't get to hear him talk about all 12 years of teaching computers, but we did get to hear him talk about zero-day exploits or script kiddies or hackers or advanced hackers. You can hear it live time when he gives his ethical hacking presentation at the Computer Security Conference 2007, April 11th through the 13th. Go online to computersecurityconference.com to register.